It's a completely online program. It consists of 12 courses, a total of 38 credit hours. If you were, say, to begin as a full-time student and wanted to go straight through, you could do it in 6 semesters, fall, winter, spring, and then repeat that the second year. Probably half of our students are going part-time. Some of the courses have prerequisites, so that makes it a little bit tricky to move through, but essentially I think probably most of our students are on a track to finish the program in 3 years, but again, they can finish in 2 years. I think the largest classes we have are 20. Typically, we have between 10 and 20 students enrolled in a class. All of the classes are very skill-based, so you're introduced to theory and research, and you get a feel for kind of the language and how to talk about industrial psychology or job analysis or leadership development. But a lot of the work is done so that you're working on projects either on your own or in teams, and you're doing the type of work that you would be doing as a master's level IO psychologist. If you're interested in working as a psychologist and you're interested in an advanced degree, there's a lot of areas of psychology that with only a master's, you're a little bit limited in the amount of practice that you can do. So for example, if you were going to counseling or clinical, you're really limited because of a lot of state licensing laws and how much you can do. It turns out that with a master's in IO psychology, most of the people who have that degree are doing pretty interesting work. They're pretty well paid. They're applying what they learned at school. So the first answer is it's a job that I think people like to do, go to work with a master's degree. The second is that I think, as I mentioned in terms of how we design the course, I think it really lends itself well to skill development, and as both as a degree, and then the course structure allows people to get a lot of applied experience. So by the time you get done, when you go in the job market, you've already done a lot of the tasks and demonstrated a lot of the skills through coursework that you'd be asked to do as a job applicant. What I'd be looking for is obviously quality instruction. You want, in any online environment, you want to make sure that the course designers have built in engagement, they've made it interesting, you're not reading pages online, you're doing things. And then I think the other thing is that you want to make sure that it's relevant. We try to update our courses about every other semester. A lot of our courses, the master's students online are reading a lot of the same articles, and they're having the same types of discussions that our first and second year doctoral students are. So they're really kind of getting kind of the latest information about the field. And there's maybe half a dozen online programs. There are only several that are also associated with brick-and-mortar universities that have a good reputation in their doctoral programs. So people who hire IO psychologists know who Colorado State is, and our graduates usually have come out with a lot of good opportunities because of our reputation. You know, in any given week, you're doing some reading. There may be a recorded streaming lecture that you can look at. There's going to be some threaded discussions, and there's going to be some group projects, and then there may be some individual things. But there is a lot of opportunity for discussion with other students, and so we try to set up all of our courses so they follow a regular semester sequence. So we start when on-campus classes start. We end in finals week on campus. Our spring courses, we have a week off for spring break, so it really tries to mirror that experience. But within any particular week, while there's always an instructor present and there's a list of things that have to get done, it really falls to the student to take ownership over making sure the readings get done, they're weighing in on discussions, they're getting their work done. So there has to be a fair amount of self-discipline, probably more so than you'd see in an on-campus course. I think there's a lot of perceptions that employers have about what an online degree looks like. And so part of what we try to do, both in the marketing that we do, part of the attitudes that we try to work instilling in our students is getting them to understand that they're really getting an equivalent education to what they would get if they were attending on campus. And in fact, I would argue for some things like statistics, our students are actually better trained than they would coming out of a regular program. So when we change the conversation to where you got your degree from to what skills do you have, and are you coming out of a setting in which you've been able to learn relevant skills that employers are looking for, I think when the argument changes or the discussion changes to that, I think our graduates are going to be, well, much better positioned in the job market. When we teach statistics now, we explain what the method is, why you have to use it. We then demonstrate it so the student can see the software on their screen and they can see the commands being executed as the instructor describes what to do, and then they can practice it. And even if they don't have the software on their computer, they'll be told, run a correlation analysis, and if they don't execute the right steps, the program stops and tells them that's not right, try again, or gives them a hint. So it really becomes this very dynamic, interactive process of learning. We've upgraded the content. When we find a reading that students don't like, we replace it. When we find better exercises that give more skill training, we add that. So it's really, I would say every course that we offer, there's been maybe a 50-75% improvement in both delivery and the quality of the content.